identify a manipulator? Well, here is one simple trick. The more someone is holding you responsible for that particular stuff, the more likely they are themselves responsible for it. In today's world, nothing exemplifies it more than Western countries vouching for climate change. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host, Tejasvi Malhotra, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI English channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story in this video, I'm here to tell you about the West's fake narrative war on climate change. No matter how much you focus on individualism, ultimately you are part of a societal framework. An individual entity can't remain in a self-interested, narcissistic silo, even when it is a country. Frankly, it is absurd that I have to even point it out. But there is a reason, and it is Western countries' hypocrisy on green energy. After passing on bucks for decades, Western countries finally agreed on something to stop the climate crisis engulfing human lives on Earth. In 2015, Paris Climate Accord was signed. The accord has inbuilt a structure for climate change mitigation, adaptation, and finance. Apparently, humongous 196 countries were part of the negotiations. The accord documented to limit future temperature rise to not more than 2 degrees Celsius. It was also agreed upon to limit it by 1.5 degrees Celsius only. But there was a huge inequality in contributors of climate change, all thanks to reckless industrialization. The United States and European Union have alone emitted more than 47% of total harmful gas present in the atmosphere. Additionally, China's contribution was recognized at 13%. Now compare that with India. In spite of having second largest population to cater to, our Bharat has contributed only 3% to historical emissions. Naturally, the responsibility of changing the climate should fall on what we term as developed countries. Additionally, since many countries were developing, they could not impose strict control on emissions and adapt to green energy. That is why they required additional funds. For this purpose, it was decided to contribute to an explicit green climate fund. Under the fund, countries, especially the developed ones, pledged to contribute $100 billion on an annual basis. Moreover, various geographical entities laid out different commitments under intended nationally determined contribution. The United States committed to reduce its emissions by 2005, level by 26 to 28% by 2025. 28 countries of the European Union committed to reduce it by 40% from 1990 level. Apparently, they pledged to do it by 2030. As usual, China made exorbitant promises here as well. It said that it would reduce its emissions intensity by 60 to 65% of 2005 level by 2030. Nearly 6 years have passed. You want to know the development on it? Here it is. The country holding the biggest culpability of the climate disaster decided to withdraw from the Paris Agreement in 2017. Trump even termed climate change as China hoax. Later, Joseph Biden decided to rejoin it in 2021. But apparently, 4 years is a big loss, especially when it comes to existential crises like this. Let's shift our focus to European Union. When it was signed, European Union had 28 countries under its fold. Brexit has left it with only 27, though later Britain said that it will continue abiding by Paris rules. However, it does not look as if these countries will be able to fulfill the goals. Why am I saying it? European countries are back to coal-based energy. France was recently pondering over it. Greece has already ramped up the production. In the wake of Ukraine-Russia crisis, Germany is also adapting to the change. If you think that the phenomenon will not percolate to other countries, then you are too optimistic. Moreover, Western countries have also fell short of providing annual finance worth $100 billion. The donors have collectively mailed on this scale. By the end of 2020, the total contribution to the climate fund was barely $632 billion. Though Western experts are hopeful of getting required investment by 2023. In the wake of Western countries failing to check their investment, the cost has increased by massive proportions. By 2025, we will be needing $2 trillion per year to meet the required goals. If situations do not improve much, this cost will jump to $4.35 trillion per annum by 2030. Even the fund which has been provided is not being availed to the needy ones. According to a 2019 report, 60% of these funds was reinvested in OECD countries themselves. Moreover, the type of fund which is being used is also a bone of contention and is tilted more towards benefiting Western countries. But to give them credit, these countries are doing something to improve the world. They passed on their responsibilities to countries like Ghana, Sri Lanka, among others. Ghana is in dark, and electricity as well as fuel is gone in Sri Lanka, along with the government.